Welcome to The Advisory, the first and last advice show on the internet, where we answer questions to learn a little bit more about what it means to be human. All advice is final and legally binding on this delightful Friday evening, James. On the show tonight, we've got all kinds of fun stuff. We're talking about what to do when you realize you've stolen too much from work. We're talking about how to deal with passive-aggressive painting walls in homes that are not your own. And of course, the feature question this week that everybody's been asking about since we got our dog sponsorship last week. We finally have a dog-related piece of advice. Okay, this week we're talking about what do you do about Barkaholic dogs? Okay, the dogs that just can't stop, James. But before all of that, can I trouble you to see the legal disclaimer?
The following show features goofs performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. Accordingly, Black Swan Society and the idiots in front of you must insist that no one attempt to actually follow any advice spewed into the world on this show.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Digital Dana. Appreciate it. Should we jump in and do a little bit of advice just to wet our whistle, if you will?
Let's break them bricks, wet nips. Let's do it.
Oh, see, I really didn't like what you just done said there.
Grease up them nippies. Let's get to the advice. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, actually, I think the nipples was the issue. I had the nipples was where my problem was. It wasn't so much the other surrounding components.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tweak
Give it
them
almost a-
nips. It's advice time. Is that sort of
Okay.
better?
All right. We're just gonna move on because clearly someone's got nip on the brain.
Pop that top, tweeze them nips. It's advice o'clock. How's that? Is that good?
I think that we should workshop our kind of catchphrase off air, because what you've just suggested there, candidly,
Yeah.
terrible, really poor suggestions is what you've got right there.
All right. Wordsmith genius. Let's hear your
Yeah.
off the cuff. Your off the cuff.
The
catchphrase.
advisory, the cat for the advisory.
No, just for you. Just your
For me,
your personal
me?
sort of go-to catchphrase.
personal go-to catchphrase. If I told you once, I told you twice. That's just as nice.
Just read the advice. Just read the question.
Yeah.
Okay,
This one comes from Glittering Road to 2580 on Reddit. James, I've stolen from work and I need some advice. Hey, you come to the right place. The show is called The Advisory. It's the main. Well, it's not the main thing we do. It's some of what we do. It's not me. I didn't steal from the office.
No, I'm just saying.
I was checking.
No, I was looking around to make sure that this was indeed the place to come for advice. I've double checked.
Oh, you checked?
It is. Yeah.
Well, it says it on the door when you walk in. It says, The Advisory. Come here for advice. And I was against the sign initially, but here we are.
Doug, these signs awful. On mine,
Yeah.
I've got a little placard that says "Play nice, it's advice." Just sort of
That's
something
that's
simple.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that actually. Yeah. James, I'm an 18-year-old. I don't know why they feel I need to do this. I'm an 18-year-old female.
Mhm.
For the past few months, I've been stealing small things from work once in a while, usually a bottle of water. I
Yeah.
don't think I've stolen more than $150 total. Today, my employer found out. She's pretty crazy and started screaming at me over the phone, telling me she's taking this further and has it all on tape. Any
Classic.
advice on what I should do? I've never done anything like this before, and I feel so bad, and I'm absolutely terrified.
I would. Personally, depending upon what type of company it is, if it's a big old multi-bill company,
Yeah.
my advice, and thankfully we've played that disclaimer, would actually be to steal more. Yeah. It's way more.
Listen, if you're
more,
working
they can
at
afford
like
it.
a Walmart or like a Woolworths, or like if it's like a big multinational, they have a thing called like it's not wastage, not leakage. There's a word for it, like
Breakage.
where they just break. Is that it?
I don't know.
Something where they're like, hey, we expect to lose X amount of inventory just through like people stealing it or it getting destroyed or whatever. Maybe you could represent a larger portion of that kind of pie chart actively.
Yeah. I
because
personally think you should.
They don't need it.
No.
Yeah.
Particularly if it's Coles or Woolworths. Rookie numbers, pump them numbers up. Yeah.
Pump them up.
Yeah.
Take more interesting things. Bottle of water, kid shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Taking a bottle of water. What's their margin on that? 50 cents? Are you kidding me? Take something take the truffle oil. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Even you're thinking way too small. Okay.
What
Slap
you
on.
Steal, Jane?
Fucking go buy a high vis vest, slap it on, and then steal one of the fridges, dude. Steal one of the whole just sections of fridges. Take in those little little trolleys that you can kick back. Throw on a high vis vest. No one questions anyone when you're wearing a high vis vest.
Have I told you this happened when I worked at one of the unis? So we had we were the third floor of the building, and all the HR business partners were in a big conference room, and so it was just the normal staff out on the floor, kind of like the support center stuff. So they're all on the phones and stuff. They're busy at all times. They don't have time to worry about anything. And these two dudes walk up and they knock on the door. And some, receptionist who's paid fucking nothing to do tons of work, answers it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're here to look at the."
Yeah, they're too busy and too underpaid to give a shit. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, "Oh, we're here to look at the servers. We're looking at the cabling." She's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, so server police here, just here to make sure everything's all plugged in.
The computers.
Yeah, just making sure the computers are still computering, the servers are still servering, that kind of stuff. So
just looking at all the power coming in and out and just seeing that it's still doing that.
Yeah, don't mind us. And also, my mate Jeff does have 37 MacBooks on a trolley behind him that he took off desks. They just need repairs, quick service, quick repairs, a few touch-ups. Don't worry about those.
Easy enough. And so they waltz in, and it's not until, and they just sort of are rummaging around different parts of the office, and it's not until they go to leave that they happen to walk past someone who's paying attention.
Damn, so close, guys, so close.
And so the associate director comes out of her office, and she's like, "I don't have any work orders today." And they
guys,
went,
sorry, you guys are actually taking my monitor and computer that are still plugged in. And I was sitting, you guys didn't even notice me. I was sitting at the desk working on it.
What they'd done, and this is so funny to me. So my mom has a similar story to uni where my mom's version of it is a smarter version, which is they went through all of the desk drawers and handbags and stuff, because a lot of people just put their purses and things like that in the desk and then leave the office or whatever.
Yeah.
My wallet sticks to my buns, all right? It's not leaving my body. But some people, they do that. And so they were just going through and literally not even taking the purses and wallets, just taking the money out of it. Bam, in the pocket, purse goes back in
front of it.
Right?
Yeah, in an office filled with people. Money inspector, just making sure that everything's up to code. I'm gonna take these 50s and these 20s right here. I'm gonna clean them for you, and I'm gonna get them right back on your desk.
Apparently, they just walked out, and obviously they were caught because it's all on fucking CCTV. But very funny. But our guys, so they're on the way out, and the associate director comes out of her office, and she's sort of this very, she's like the only way I can think of describing this woman is she's sort of like a Charlize Theron, business chic type, but might also clearly does kickboxing type of person,
right?
Has on the nice business clothes, but probably could kill you if she needed to.
Yeah. Katana strapped to her back, sort of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yellow and black stripes, sort of tracksuit on. Yeah.
Very similar energy. And so she sort of goes, I don't have a work order for today. Can I see your visitor badges? And they're like, oh, we the receptionist list.
Jeff threw a MacBook at her face, and they both ran.
I don't know. I can't exactly remember how to. I think security got called, and then they got taken. They didn't get away with anything. But it was a very funny scenario of because the people whose job is to think about this stuff were not in the room, it was that easy to just waltz in.
Yeah.
And just start taking, because high vis, you're invisible, because people are it's a fucking tradie.
Exactly.
They don't think about you.
Exactly. Doug, I had tradies in my apartment this week, because, new apartment that we moved into. So, there's tradies have to come in and to fix up some stuff from the past tenants or whatever. And I other than the first guy, I talked to the first guy a fair bit, but The second two dudes that came in to work on the aircon, I barely looked at them. If you put them in a lineup, I could pick out one of them. Definitely couldn't pick out the other. I like barely looked at him because it's like, hey, I'm doing my thing. I would argue that the worst part of their job is that they have to go to people's houses and then they have to interact with people. So I just assume that they want to be left alone. So I just don't fuck with them. You know what I mean?
That's actually, it's like, I don't want to talk to you and you don't want to talk to me. And so we're just not going to talk.
Which I will very briefly say that on Wednesday, I think it was, I knew the guy was coming. He was like, you know, patching holes, whatever, painting some stuff. And I figured he'd be here for a bit and I didn't want the apartment to be silent. So I was like, oh, I'll just pop something on the TV, right? And I went with I put the platform that we're streaming on, Twitch. I popped that up on the TV, and I picked a streamer who I don't really watch, but like I know he's very sort of like just very chill. He's a normal dude. He's a bit of a goofy guy. He streams like Super Mario 64, like speed runs.
Worried.
You know, it's very like middle of the road, G-rated general content that you could put on. You know, someone playing Mario, a dude that's playing Mario, he's very chill, whatever.
For sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
About 15 minutes in to the guy being here, the streamer starts talking about, and I wrote them down, dicks, fucking, cum, butt fucking a body pillow, right? And at one point, his entire chat started spamming the word cum, and he was saying to them, stop saying cum. Stop saying cum. Guys, stop saying cum. Stop saying, and I was like, you stop saying cum. I have someone in the room.
Why? So hang on. So instead of just, it's quiet, instead of just putting on music or like sport or something, you go, you know what would be a safe option? Twitch.television, a live stream platform where anyone could say anything at any time.
But a Mario man. A Mario man, you know?
Mario man could be into gross cummy stuff.
Well, he was. It took...
That's really unfortunate.
I cannot believe how many times he said cum. And I thought, like, we've both heard it. I didn't know how to, like, back out of the situation without being without it drawing attention to me being like, probably shouldn't leave the guy on the TV shouting the word cum.
Talking about the cum. But the balance there is like, if you don't do anything, is he going to assume that you're used to people talking about this stuff because you watch this stuff all the time? Do you know what I mean? This is
the gauntlet that you run for a third party listen. Whenever you pop on, it could be a podcast that you listen to all the time. And they're very normal. They talk about normal stuff, very funny, whatever. And you'll pop it on when someone else is around, and all of a sudden they're talking about butt fucking in, you know, the cinema while there's volcanic arcs of jizz spraying every... We're doing it right now. Right now. Yes.
If we're doing it now.
God damn it.
Like you describing it, you just did it to somebody. Somebody's washing the dishes in their kitchen right now, listening to their favorite funny boys talk about funny stuff.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Their partner walked into the room and you just said that thing.
Yeah.
And they went, "What are you listening to? A naughty podcast?"
They're like, no, normally,
sorry. Cinemas.
Normally, James is talking about really funny stuff. David is talking about really boring loser stuff. Like, they don't normally scream the words volcanic arcs of jizz. And I apologize again that I've had to say it again.
Yeah,
we need to get away from this topic, because by even talking about it, we're potentially doing it to someone else.
Is there? Now, I don't want to hear about
I turned it off, by the way. I had to turn it off. I couldn't turn it off.
What happened? So
and the fucking...
Did you replace it with something?
The Apple TV, when you back out of something, makes a very loud wong sound. So we all knew what I was doing. That I was backing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it goes wong. So big sound of it backing out of the thing. And then it goes dead silent, obviously, because now there's nothing playing. And I just went to YouTube and just hit like the first fucking thing that I saw. It was like an e-commerce video or whatever. I was like, yeah, sure, perfect. People talking about e-commerce.
Sorry. Sorry, talk me. Are you in the room?
Yeah.
What are you doing
I'm on my computer.
on your laptop?
No, my desktop. It's a weird
so the-
setup. It's a weird setup with like the new place.
Okay.
I'm kind of like in the dining area instead of a dining
Okay.
area. It's me.
The study. This is
Yeah.
what I was trying to work out. So okay, I understand what's occurred because my old apartment was like this. You remember my old flat, where I was sort of the lounge room was to the left, my desk
Yes.
was here, and then it was the kitchen. And so if I was on the machine, if I was on the computer, then I'm in the living room.
Yes. So that's where I am.
Now, what I would do when tradies came by, which was often because my landlady was fucking crazy, is if I was working, I would use the fancy smart TV stuff, and I would just put on like mid 2000s like something mix on Spotify or something. So at
Okay.
least I wasn't silent, and then
Yeah.
I put on the headphone and keep doing my job or whatever I was doing.
You're rocking headphones with a tradie in your apartment?
I have a job to do. I can't not be
Sure,
on a
but
Zoom
what if
call.
they're like, hey, oh yeah, we're just looking for. They said that there's like a ding in this wall, and you know where that is. And that meanwhile, now they've got to like flag you down.
Yeah, well, so this is the thing. I'm not saying it was
Yeah.
a perfect solution.
Okay.
What I am saying is, no one ever was yelling about gross blue stuff because
Right.
it was just they were
Yeah.
just listening to the Veronicas.
That's a
and
fair
stuff,
point. It's a fair point.
You know, so as
The
much as you
worst case
criticize-
scenario for you was they had to get your attention. The worst case scenario for me was it happened.
It
It
happened.
happened.
Now, is there? And I don't. This is what I was going to say before. I don't want to hear about no fucking kid-friendly podcast. Okay, but is there a safe category of like third-party listen thing? I feel like sports is pretty safe. Like a sport comment, like something being
Yeah.
commentated by sports commentators, like that's pretty safe. You can't do the news because if the news is on, it's like you never know. Someone might be like, "Oh, we should treat trans people like people," and the tradie goes, "SJW propaganda." Am I right? Like that's a whole can of worms, right?
Oh, dude,
You
something
gotta-
similar happened. Something similar happened yesterday with a different tradie, where they
What is
were
your week, Ian?
dog. It's a nightmare moving into a new place and then dealing with all these tradies. So the people that came yesterday were cleaning the air conditioner, which, by the way, thank you for cleaning the air conditioner. You fully rat fucked it and broke it though. So now it's like it pissing water out and shit. So there's like towels down and everything.
Oh, they haven't resealed it. Yeah, okay.
Dog. And they have and the one of the flaps doesn't go up and down, so it doesn't direct the air properly. And it's not mounted
Wait.
back on. They fucked it in 3 different ways.
It's not. It's this. I don't want to throw any shit. Well, I guess I do want to throw some shade. Cleaning an air conditioner is not that hard. I've done it myself. It's not that hard to just take it off and do. Like you just need to reseal it properly.
Yeah, well, they super didn't do that. And
Yeah.
so they're looking for, I think they wanted to run a pipe into the like laundry sink or whatever. So they said, where's the laundry sink? And it's a new place. We've like, you know, so I was like, oh, there's one in there, and pointed to where the laundry was. And then I couldn't remember if I had seen a laundry sink in there.
Oh, sure.
But I said like, oh, it's in there or whatever. And I said, oh, I think I was like, I don't fucking know, man. I'm like, it's a new place, you know, I'm still getting used to where everything is. And then he goes, haha, yeah, not that us guys spend a lot of time in the laundry. And I was like,
You're like, actually, I do.
actually,
the majority of the laundry.
I do the laundry at the house. So
I do the laundry because my partner uses too much detergent on a fabric softener, and you know I'm not trying to get anything that isn't the right level of soft on this bod.
Can't use fabric softener in this house. Sam has very sensitive skin. Okay, so it's just detergent. But I get.
I use a hypoallergenic detergent that is got so little stuff, like because my skin is so terrible that it's got so little stuff in it that the only thing that's in it is like the stuff that cleans the clothes. Like I have to, like I'm buying drugs.
This is an awful tangent that we've gone on.
Oh,
the condition of our skin.
No,
superfluous.
you're like this though. I have to text a guy and be like, "Hey, do you have any at the moment?" Like it's specialty detergent. Like it's, and then I literally I'm like, "Yo, were you holding?" And he's like, "Hit me back in a month." And then he's like, oh yeah, I can get you 2
Sorry, dude.
boxes for
Peppermint oil is like it's really a low shortage this month. Aesop bought up a lot of my stacks, so
it's
I don't know.
it's shit
Get
like
back
that,
to me in
where
2.5
where
months.
he's like, man, I had a shipment coming in, but it got diverted to China, man. I don't know what that's gonna look
You
like.
text him, and
timeline-wise.
the automated response you get back is, due to the COVID-19 virus, there is actually and you're like, God damn it. It's 2 years. He's still saying this shit.
He's still saying it. But it's a whole anyway, it feels like I'm buying something I shouldn't be, but it is just laundry powder. It's very funny.
So
look,
now that we've
that
we've screamed the C word, sorry.
I didn't say no
Sorry.
C word, that was you.
Different C word.
That was all you.
We'll say
That was all
cunt
you.
here. That's not the C word.
Cunt's fine. But I didn't say nothing
Yeah.
blue, that was all you.
Okay.
I didn't mean for that to rhyme.
I
guess I
really
was a poet and wasn't aware of it.
fully heinous. I actually want to help this person, okay?
Okay.
Who's been stealing from their job. I think, obviously, high vis, double down, steal more, solid advice. I would say,
Those aren't related advice.
I would say to most people, to everyone, don't bogart anyone steal. You know what I mean? If you're at a Coles or a Woolworths and you see someone stealing, no, you didn't.
Let 'em have
okay.
it. Let 'em have it.
But my go-to was going to be, your boss confronts you about this and says,
Yeah.
look, we've got you. We've got you on CCTV.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got like a running tally of things that you've been stealing. We know that you've been doing it.
I can be the boss if that's easier. Would that help?
Well, I was just going to say, you turn around to her and say, oh no, Cassandra. And then she goes, who? And you go, my twin. Yeah, she's done this before, but you know, I thought she was getting the help that she needed, but I guess that she's found us again and she's doing it. She was bullied in high school. You know, I was part of the mean girl crowd, and I'm ashamed to say I never really stood up for her as much as a big sister should. But after they dumped that pig's blood on her at the semi-formal,
that's really terrible. Yeah,
and she locked everyone inside that building and burned it to the ground.
Really sounds like a novel from the 80s, but that's really tragic.
You know, our family, unfortunately, we had to check her into Wakehold Insane Asylum.
Wakehold, that's tough. Well, I didn't know anything about that.
And you know, after the Wakehold mental health building being in operation for almost 160 years, the asylum was shut down due to funding cuts. And,
that's unfortunate.
All the patients were released back into the public. You know, we never knew where she went. We never really heard from her again. But
you didn't know when she, like, what happened when she got out? She just vanished.
She vanished, and now it looks like she's back. And with a very small amount of photoshopping of photos, and a very small amount of photoshopping for fake news articles, you can sell this.
To be honest, with all the like funky stuff in Photoshop these days, you probably just tell it what to do and it'll do it for you.
Yeah, honestly, give it like 2.5 weeks and some AI you'll just be able to tell the AI what you want it to do.
Give me a clone sister and all my family childhood photos and then done.
Yeah. And once you've done that one, then the next one is just like, now turn it into a news article where my sister dumped pig's blood, you know, burned the building down, blah, 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 checked into the asylum. Yeah.
You know, similar to Carrie, but different enough that it's not obvious.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because you don't want to get caught in the like, because Mr. King, I don't know how litigious he is, but he could. Can you sue someone for real life?
You can't, but only in this specific instance because of how bad of a writer he is. The other idea that I had was, could you sell that it's a social experiment and you were doing it to benefit the business? You were trying to highlight potential shortcomings in the business.
Oh, you want to go the bug bounty route of
exactly. I was just pointing out.
I showed you the weaknesses in your security setup. You should pay me. In fact,
it took you guys 3.5 months to notice, and I stole $1,000 worth of stuff.
Right. I think you got a lot of options. I think
give me a pay
it's
rise.
kind of a smorgasbord. Give me your job. I want your job. There's like a smorgasbord of options there. I feel of like kind of a charcuterie of pieces of advice that will get you where you need to go. I think, and I'll be honest with you, James, I think your initial suggestion of steal more, but do it better. That's really the overarching advice, and then
Yeah.
within that, we have kind of sub advice that you can pick.
2023, we're swinging for the fences, and that does apply to all instances, even in
Yeah.
this case where it is still bigger, still better, still
Theft.
still smarter, not
Lying
harder.
about
You know, those.
your identity.
Yeah.
Other things you could do bigger and better. We want you
Well,
to do them bigger and better.
Technically, I'm not lying about my identity in the twin sister
So
scenario.
you're in. Well, but like
I'm
but
massaging
you're lying
the
about
truth
the
a
fact
little
that
bit.
wasn't you. That's lying about your identity.
Who wasn't me?
The twin sister that doesn't exist.
No, but I have a twin. You gotta buy the lie. You gotta.
Yeah.
You have to buy into the lie
That was
in order
pretty
to sell
convincing,
it.
actually.
You know
I was
what I mean?
about to say no, you don't. And then I went, but you sounded like you do. In my head, I was like, well, what am I going to say? You don't have a. I don't know you, or you. You could have a twin
It's
sister.
all
Like, I
about
don't know.
confidence, baby. You know, Ocean Alley wouldn't sing it if it wasn't true. You know? And it is all
For
about
sure.
confidence, baby.
Yeah. That's
So,
hey, that's actually the advisory slogan now. It is all about confidence, baby.
perfect.
Nice little pause that makes it uncomfortable. James, I wanted to briefly. I mean, this isn't going to be a big bit. I just wanted to. I was cackling to myself privately. The reason that we're recording on a Friday and live streaming on a Friday is that we both had stuff to do last night. Sometimes we go out of our fucking offices, okay, and we leave the advisory studio, okay, and we go out into the world. And the lawyers aren't fans of it, but they let us do it once every full moon, I think. Is that how it works?
I
haven't
have
really been
I have
clear
to
on-
stay in on full moons, but I'm allowed to go out on half moons, quarter moons, blood moons, and harvest moons.
Everything but a full
Yeah.
moon. That makes sense to me. But we both. So the reason that we didn't live stream record last night is we were both at gigs, and I was chuckling to myself because, and it was the most like we just did the most us things that one could have done instead of recording a podcast. Like, because you went to a kind of like you went to movements. You went to like a new age kind of like metal, cool dudes doing cool music, screaming and having a great time, jumping up and down, all that fun stuff that people love with the music, right?
Yeah.
You're out with the vibes, out with the boys. And I and that was in the city, kind of like Newstead, like like it's sort of like the
terrific, great
Triffid
spot.
is, really, really good venue for music. I drove an hour out of town to a convention center that sat about 500 people to listen to
That's right.
Ando do a talk about his book
Yeah.
that he just published, because I just finished reading it. And my dad was like, "Hey, I have some tickets. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so we sort of had different evenings
A little
because
bit.
what would you say like the kind of average audience was at the gig? Like, what was the kind of vibe, like the demographic?
I mean, metal shows really it runs the gambit from. It was an 18 plus show, so anywhere from 18 to I don't know 35, 40.
Right. Okay.
I
my
heard
gig.
I heard very specifically while we were leaving, a group of friends say to one of their male friends, "Hey, what are you doing after this?" And he said, "I am absolutely going home to sleep." So
King. King right there.
there's some older people mixed in there.
Yeah. I would say for my gig, it was a mostly a 50 plus crowd.
Yeah.
People eligible for pension.
Yeah.
Was sort of the general attendance.
Yeah, very
there.
very different sort of energy for the room, sort of, younger metal fans versus OAP talk show type vibe.
Yeah, and this may not super surprise you. Ando, for those who aren't familiar, Australian comedian, Vietnamese immigrant, has a really tremendous life story. His book's fantastic.
Is he a comedian?
Redcliffe,
Was a comedian?
yeah, he still is, but like
He's a
he's kind
comedian.
of branched out now. Like he does like does all kinds of stuff now. He's a absolutely tremendously talented painter. Does portraits and things like that. But yeah, he was a comic for 30 or 40 years and still is. Very, very funny last night. But Redcliffe, it's full of old white people. And they sort of, there's a few jokes that he did which were sort of like self-effacing about his race that were clearly designed not to be funny. And they were like, you go, but they got the biggest laugh of every joke, like of the whole night. And I was like, ooh, they're not laughing for the same reason we are. Like it was, yeah. Let's just say that on the way out, it was a very slow exit, not because there were too many people there, but because people move so slowly.
Right, yeah. That wasn't, it wasn't a choice really. It was, we're at top speed.
Yeah, necessary. So if you ever wonder like what the kinds of people we are, James is kind of hip and in touch and you know, vibing with the kinds of culture that is like going to cross the spectrum and bring people together. And I'm an 18th century lighthouse.
Pretty much. By the way, so Ando can fucking paint. I'm looking at some of his paintings right now.
He's so talented. Hey, yeah.
That's crazy.
He won some national award for one of his portraits of Indigenous elder. It's absolutely stunning. Yeah, very talented dude. And if you haven't read his book, you absolutely should. Just a phenomenal life story, like unbelievable. Just the range of things that happened to him. Like, you know, came across after the war from Vietnam in like a little fishing dinghy that, you know, 30 people crowding into this like, you know, 9-meter boat. And they get robbed by pirates and then they're drifting, you know, out in water for like 4 days and they're saved by like a German, you know, merchant vessel. And, you know, to this day, his mom still loves Germans. Like, it's just a really phenomenal read. Very funny. But you do have to be prepared to cry at multiple different points. It's one of those books.
Right. Okay. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Happy Immigrant, I think is what it's called. James, let's do some advice and then let's do the feature question.
Let's do it.
I've looked at the clock. Maybe let's do the feature question first.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Is that okay?
Hey.
Just in the interest of finally structuring the show properly, we could do it now and then see how we go.
Hey, I don't see why not, you know?
First time for everything. 32 episodes in? Why not?
This is the most fucking like fucking 4BH 882 AM radio crossover between content. Hey, James, do you think we should head on over to the feature question? I don't see any reason why we shouldn't. David, let's do it.
The problem is it's the Friday energy, and the Friday energy is normally chill, but I'm trying to bring it up because we're trying to have some fun, and my brain just keeps defaulting to like.
And I don't, and I'll be honest,
about this.
Yeah, and I don't have any real response to it other than I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I guess so. Like
we'll get to we'll talk about this one, and then we'll talk about the next one too. So
do the show. I don't know why you're asking me. You asked me like I had an opinion about it. Doesn't mean like I fucking care. Like I don't fucking care. James, this question I've entitled "Rough Times: Tales of the Barkaholic Dogs." Now, I don't want to disclose how long it took me to workshop that, but I found this question 3 weeks ago and I didn't include it because I couldn't finesse what to call it.
Right. Okay. You've been secretly chipping away at this one. Okay.
It's sort of the Rosetta Stone of my advisory episode titles. I'm not sure if they chipped away at the Rosetta Stone. I'm uneducated, but you know, it's sort of you know, from the primordial ooze, I have, you know, found this title and I'm very proud of it. The emojis were not my idea. Shout outs someone from work who was like, "Well, if you're talking about dogs, have you thought about dog emojis?" And I was like, I would never think of that because I'm too
How old were they? How old was the person that suggested that?
19.
Wow, that's surprising actually, because apparently younger audiences really don't fuck with emojis. And the emojis that they do fuck with are very different, so...
I think he suggested it as like a shit post. Like, he's like, that'd be ironic and funny.
Right, okay.
He's always doing stuff like that.
Yeah, he's trying to goof on us, is what you're saying. He's really like, put a dog in there. And then you're like, oh, good idea. And he's like, oh, shit, I was joking, dude.
And he's like...
Oh, he's actually going to put a fucking...
granddad thought that was a good idea. Like, he
Oh,
like that to me
yeah,
all
and
the
he's
time.
like, "What?" David still puts the fucking crying, laughing emoji instead of the skull emoji. What? You know,
what?
don't worry about it, mate. You're
Okay,
too
we
old. You're
can't.
too old. It's okay. It's fine.
Fine. James, we just recently rented out a new home. While looking at the house, the neighbor's dog didn't bark the 2 times we were out here, and so we thought that the dog was going to be quiet. Just rented our new flat. Great new home, great stuff. Well, the past 2 weeks, our neighbor's dog has started barking at 4 in the morning and waking up our 10-month-old baby. Our roommate is sick of it, and I'm tired of waking up at 4 a.m. every morning.
What the fuck did you just say?
So
Our roommate?
So I think they live in this house with the husband, the kid,
Seriously,
wife, and a roommate.
can we get a moment of silence for that guy? Oh my god. This fucking poor son of a bitch lives with a mum, a dad, a baby, and there's a barking dog at 4 a.m. every day next door. Dog. Oh. Bill, that's rough, man.
R.I.P.
That's
R.I.P.
rough.
Bro. I did that for 2 years with my brother and his kid, but like, you gotta develop a drinking habit because you ain't sleeping otherwise. Let me tell you that, friend. That incidentally was when I discovered the other thing you can smoke, which did help as well.
Crack, yeah. That was your crack phase, yeah.
Yeah, it was my crack phase.
David, I vividly remember when we all had gathered at David's mum's house for the intervention. He thought he was coming over for a Sunday dinner, and we were all sitting there waiting for him to come in. And he comes in, you know, obviously cracked out off his nut, you know, picking away at his skin and stuff, and saying stuff like Stephen King's endings are great. You know, like really fucked up wackadoo shit. That's how you know he was cooked.
Just for the record, I prefer the term cracked on, not cracked up. Because it makes it sound funny. Cracked on is that's when you do it and then you're on it.
How about I go neither and I go cracked out?
Cracked out? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Whatever you want.
Glad we covered that.
Whatever you think is the right thing.
And anyway, David was talking about his crack addiction, why he does crack, and
crack habit.
I'll say this. It was hard to argue with his reasoning for it. He said, and I quote, "A barking dog don't wake you up at 4 a.m. if you're never asleep." And I said, I vividly remember turning to everyone and I said, that's a good point, actually. Like, that's actually a really good point. Obviously, we strapped him down to the dining room table. People came in. We took the legs off the dining room table. We put it into the back of the van. Right. They took him to where he needed to go. But
intellectually destroyed is what you're saying.
Oh, it was hard. It was afterwards. It was really difficult for me to sort of get back on the side of everyone else because I was like, he was making some really good and interesting points.
Despite being incredibly high, he was very salient about the reason he was high.
And I can't disagree with them. And I feel like we're not acknowledging that enough. But, you know, it's fine.
Yeah. Hey, you can be right and high. Those aren't mutually exclusive.
That's also very good. Are drugs bad? I don't even know anymore. Are drugs even bad?
I had to go buy papers this afternoon, and I get the same thing every time. I literally walk into the fucking smoke store, and I'm like, I just want this because it's good and it's reliable, and it's the same thing every time. He was like, "Oh, we don't have those. We only have the like premium version." And I was like, "The what?" He's like, "Oh yeah, like we're out of the base. We just have to go shipping out. We only have the premium one." And I was like, "Y'all got premium version? I've been walking in here for 3 years. You have premium versions of these papers?" And he went, "Yeah." And he pulls. Give me literally 10 seconds. I'm gonna run again.
David is now heading over to his supply of illegal narcotics. It has been medicinally made legal here in, I don't know if it's all of Australia, but definitely Queensland now. But let's just say there's no prescription in that house. That's all I'm going to say.
So he comes out. You don't know what I'm smoking. So he comes out and he shows me. So he shows me these, which are like raw black
Raw black.
premium.
Okay.
They're like raw black classic. They're supposed to be designed as sort of like these they're like a connoisseur rolling paper as opposed to the raw organic ones, which I get, which are like the cheap, easy ones to use. And this dude, there's like 4 people in the store. He goes, because I was like, what the fuck? I didn't realize that was the thing. And he looks at me and he goes, yeah, man, like, I rolled, I rolled 2 blunts the other night and I smoked them. I got fucking high out of my mind. So who fucking cares if it just burns, bro? And I was like, for sure, yeah. Yeah. Just let me pay my $4 and leave. I was like, you're really trying to broadcast, huh?
So what exactly is different about the regular raw papers versus the raw black?
I'm really not sure if I'm being completely
They have
candid.
a better,
Apparently,
they burn easier. They have a
they-
better burn, a more consistent burn.
So I think they have. So it's all natural gum, but I think the idea is that they burn slower because they have some kind of there's something in like that they've coated them in or something, and the raw
Okay.
organics don't have that.
Yeah.
It's all natural stuff, but like what it's I'm if I'm being honest, he didn't really explain it well because he was having too much of a good time telling me how high he got, which was very often like I didn't even say what I was smoking. I was just like, could I get those? And he went, yeah, but we only have these, but I fucking got blasted the other night.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right, cool, man.
And you were like, I'm just taking my pouch of Marlboro and I'm like going back home to roll up some darts. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm just punching some darts, bro. Punching some darts, mate. That's
Right.
what I
Oh,
would
nice.
say.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Australian slang.
No, I love
Punching
it. Yeah.
just
definitely.
punching a dart, mate. Having a durry. Is that
There
one?
you go. There you go. Yeah.
I'm fanging for a durry, mate.
I honestly don't think I've ever heard someone say punching darts. I've
No, they don't say
heard
that.
punching cones, but
They're like, do you want to grab a dart? That's kind of the.
absolutely
They don't say punch, you want
heinous.
to punch a dart.
Let's help these dog people.
James, my husband wants to go over there and talk to them, but I have extreme. Sorry, no, let me rephrase. Because my husband wants me to go over there and talk to them,
Okay.
but I have extreme social anxiety. I don't even know how to approach the topic without coming across as aggressive or sound like they're doing it on purpose because I know they aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dog. I need some advice on either how to approach this or if it would be better to send my husband over to talk to them about it. I don't know if this is important information, but there are 2 county officers, the people that live there, like they're police.
Yeah.
Neither are canine units, but it is a German Shepherd.
Yeah. That was just them getting ahead of the onslaught of online suggestions of people saying, hey, draft up a fake letter about a noise complaint or whatever. Yeah.
Now, James, I'm curious as to your suggestion on this because I feel the dog problem. Okay, I'm gonna bracket the dog problem globally, right?
Okay.
Dogs don't give a fuck about your priorities.
Yeah.
Okay, dogs head empty, instinct based animals. They just want to do the
Okay.
thing that feels the best at all times, and frankly, I'm jealous. Okay, because they don't no shame, no fear. They just go, man, wouldn't it be great if I did this right now? And they just do it. Okay, so no shade on dogs.
Definitely. And I think it's so interesting that you've described dogs in that way and so passionately, it sounded like, because I'm not going to lie, when I saw the title of this episode and I saw the brief first line for the feature question on this episode, I thought,
talk your shit.
It's very interesting why David chose the question about a dog next door. And it's strange that I had that thought and then you have just now spoken so passionately and about dogs and the dog situation and the dog being next door. I want to get ahead of what I think your suggestion is going to be, which I think it's probably going to be
what do you think my suggestion?
I think it's going to be to introduce some type of dog hierarchy. I think David's going to get out there in his his dog suit, his bespoke artisanal leather collar.
I'm not into dogs.
He's going to have a bit of a strut about, you know. He's going to strut about all big and dogly. And he'll bark when it barks. You know, he'll impose himself as the new HDIT, the head dog in town. And he'll let that dog know when and when it cannot bark. I think that's David's method. And again, I'd like to couch that idea in how passionately he talked about the dog next door. So definitely think there's something strange there. But hey, just to take a step back from that, from your weird little fetish area where you dress up like a dog.
That proves I'm good. I'm just think that I don't. So okay, I'm not into puppy play. I don't dress up like a dog.
You just talked about how carefree they are.
Yeah,
how when you're being a dog, not that I want to get back to your base like nature. Yeah.
That just proves I'm better at this. I did that off the cuff. That was without a second thought. I'm just good at improv. Okay. And now suddenly I want to.
Guys, you've seen his improv. You've seen his improv. Okay.
This is
and
absurd.
you know that what he just said there was not improv. It was him tapping into a deep-seated truth within himself, which is
this is slander at best. Okay.
Right.
This is at best. At best.
Yeah.
At worst. It's a fucking. It's a. Can I sue him?
I don't. How can you ask a lawyer if you can sue someone for telling the truth?
I don't know. It's not the truth. It's not true.
David, I found the clip today of you naming yourself Raven back in high school. Okay, it's only a matter of time before we find the clip of you announcing your puppy play fetish that you've got. Okay,
that clip doesn't exist because I am not into puppy play.
Okay, again, we're doing the thing where a third party listen. This is going to be really a bizarre conversation.
You started it. You brought it up.
Right.
If anyone,
well, I get it. You talked about how passionate you were about being a dog. So that's all I'm going to say.
This episode, you're trying to ruin a third party listen for our humble viewers and listeners and people that love our show, James.
Right. Well,
I'm fucking same team.
I'm just going to jump into what my suggestion would be. Okay. And we'll give David the opportunity to cool off because it sounds like he needs to.
I don't need to. You need to cool off.
Right.
You need to cool off. You're upset.
That's a lot of sexual energy you're bringing right now. Wow.
You're into puppies.
What a sexual outburst that was. I apologize to everyone.
How was that sexual?
Watching and listening.
What's that sexual?
So for you,
I'm defending my name. I'm defending my honor.
Right. Is it like a furry thing? You just sort of like, you like to dress up as a dog to be free like a dog? Is that what it is? We don't have to talk about it now. It's fine. Now, my solution is, I would say, look, you got to make it their problem. The only way that they're going, because they're dog barking, they obviously don't give a shit, right? Now, get yourself a cheap microphone and a speaker. Put the microphone up against the fence and the speaker against the fence. Every time the dog barks, it launches that bark sound back at them times 10. And now they'll be woken up by their own dog barking. They solve their own dog problem. Because now the dog problem's their problem.
Oh, sorry. You want my input now? You want me to talk now? You want to know what I think?
You want to
know what I think now?
As long as your suggestions are above the waist, I think it's cool.
Because you made it pretty clear you don't care what I have to say,
right?
And you just are going to say whatever you want to say. So I'm just curious if you
want
is it okay if I speak now?
Perfectly okay, but I would just argue that I listen more deeply to the things that you say, and I retain the things that you say more vividly. So,
yeah, I mean, your suggestion is basically it's like gives you hell the video clip. You remember that? It's like the All American Rejects where he's playing the speaker at midnight, and then the neighbor is like mowing at fucking 9 a.m. Like it's that kind of vibe. try to, because what I'm saying is I'm worried you're going to start a war, an escalation scenario where it's like you do the dog barking and then he puts the speaker inside the baby's room and whenever it cries, it blasts into your fucking front room.
For sure. I just want to make sure. Do you obviously know what he's talking about here? Because that famous and accessible reference, the All American Rejects.
Weren't they quite big in like
film clip?
Just realized how old I sound.
Yeah. I'm cool with it being old. I don't want to do this whole like, is
James,
it old? Is it new?
Sorry, James. 173 million views 13 years ago. Ooh.
So hopefully you have seen, you are one of the 173 million, and and not only have you seen it, but you've seen it recently enough or retained it enough to understand what he's talking about.
Yeah, I saw that in high school and have retained it.
Strange. That's a strange, but sure. So they did that in a film clip, is what you're saying.
I can set it up for you. Basically, it's the same. So it's the lead vocalist, and he is a cool rock guy with a cool rock girlfriend, a cool rock band, living in one house. And then next door, it's him, the same actor, but playing like a straight-laced,
couple of squares next door.
No, squares with a square wife, whatever. And they get into this battle where his band are playing loud music too late, and so the neighbors are pissed off. So they do things like mow the lawn very loud, and make a fuss for them in the morning. And the way that they solve it, because it was 2010 and no one thought this stuff was problematic, is they trade women.
Okay.
Because the rocker guy is kind of into the button-up chick, and then the button-up guy is kind of into the rocker chick, and then I guess solves the conflict. They do a wife swap. Doesn't really... Not really sure what the message is supposed to be.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about someone pitching that idea, and then them getting to the conclusion, and they're like, and what solves the conflict for everyone is a wife swap.
Yeah,
and then everyone that needed to have buy-in was like, perfect.
Dude, send it. Get the budget, get the cameras. Let's find a set. Let's do it.
That's a weird one. Okay.
Yeah, look it up on your own time. If you don't remember it, I'm sure someone. Okay. Hey, if you remember that and you're listening to that, you got to let me know in the comments or email us, because like I sounded like an insane person, but it was quite popular.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying that like.
Don't you do that to me.
It's weird that that's the thing that you cherry picked out of what we've been discussing about you that you would say is weird, but sure, yeah. Retaining the film clip to, what was it? Wish You Well by All American Rejects? Gives you hell. Okay.
Hell.
Yeah.
Wish You Well is a Bernard Fanning song.
Super weird. Am I right, guys? And not that other stuff that he's into. So, yeah.
It's just been a very, this is an episode that's been very primarily focused on defaming my name and making false accusations. And it's a little disappointing to me, frankly. But at this point, I'm not even fucking surprised, because I have literally no stock left in this company and I have to stay here on contract. So I guess say whatever you want. It's fine.
Did you have a solution to the dog problem? Yeah.
Well, yours is a really good starting point, I think. Again, I'm stressed about the escalation of it.
Okay.
Dogs famously not great at taking criticism, I don't think. Like, you can't sort of say, hey, I thought last night's bark, you did your best, but could we just lower the dBs by like maybe 5, just crank the slider down? Like, they're not famously not open to feedback.
And you think the husband is sending the wife around there to deal with it because he wants her to broach the wife swap problem that will ultimately solve the dog
solution?
Barking.
Yeah. He's like, what if you and that one swapped and then the dogs would I don't. That's also weird to.
I don't want to, because like I don't like that as an idea, but all I'm saying is it's clearly worked in the past.
Yeah. Also, why does only one of you have to go?
Well, because you can't do a wife swap and a husband swap because now
Then
it's
you
just now it's
changed
just
houses.
you just switched houses.
Yeah.
And you two became police officers, and now actually now the dog is their problem.
Hmm. Oh shit.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
A
Also,
little
being a cop sounds like a lot right now, just with the state of the world and like the way that policing is. Like, it feels like it's the wrong place to be at the moment. Or it's like that would be very stressful as well. Um, but what do you do if it's your dog? Like, how do you make a dog not bark? I don't know anything about dogs. Like, how do you train him?
bark collar.
Bark collar.
Yeah.
Bark collar.
Give
Let
him
me see.
do like
Oh,
the reverse Pavlov and give him a treat every time he doesn't bark.
right. Well, these seem like they
incentivize.
do they zap the dog? What?
They do actually, yeah.
That's crazy. These look kind of heavy duty as well. Like they kind of got that like industrial tool belt look to them.
You could try, an oldie but a goodie. Every time the dog barks, you shout out your window, "Shut the fuck up."
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think they've tried that yet. They don't.
Mm.
This is again the issue with advice is they don't try anything. They just come to us first.
Yeah.
Because if you tried that, I reckon it would have worked. Because dogs do like it. If the dog's barking and you yell at the dog's gonna stop barking. Maybe I don't know how. Is that how dogs work?
You could go to all of the other neighbors and say, "Hey, the dog's barking at 4 a.m. What if every time it barks, you get your next door neighbor, your other neighbor, their neighbor, and their other neighbor. You go to all of them. You're surrounding them essentially. And at 4 a.m., whenever their dog barks, all 4 houses shout in their direction, 'Shut the fuck up.'"
Oh, it's a coordinated assault.
And then they
It's
sort of
a
start
neighborhood rallying cry.
like a neighborhood watch type scenario, but specifically for these pieces of shit and their sucky dog.
Do you think do you think that like because I think them being cops adds it like they've added that to kind of defuse the like make a noise complaint thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that like potentially if you made a noise complaint, what if they just made it go away? What if the right money finds the right pocket and then it
Sorry. I'm sorry.
what if you make a noise complaint and suddenly what that file the noise complaint file? I don't know. We must have lost it. Found its way into the shredder somehow. I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, because making a noise complaint, what's that going to do? One of their colleagues is going to show up to the house and go, "Hey, keep it." Oh, Mark. Oh, Bethany. Hey, guys. Do I have the right address? Yeah, no, 114 Privet.
Do you want a beer, bro? Just come and have a beer. If you're here, just come and have a beer.
Fuck it. Why not, dude? Let's do it. And then they forget about
since the barbecue last month. Like,
why they're even there.
Yeah. Do you,
that's obviously to say that the typical channels, they're not going to work here.
No, you have to really go outside of the spectrum on this one, outside of the bounds. And James, that's what we're known for on the advisory. We got the big.
Is there something? Is there something in one of you dressing up like an even bigger dog and becoming sort of like the head dog?
Now, I can't comment on this because whatever I say is going to be interpreted in that type of way.
That's fair.
So I will defer my legal advice my legal advice vote to you, James. And so you may decide what to think of that advice, and I will refrain from comment.
So I threw that out there as a question. Would that work? David legally says yes, he thinks that's great. And David also says perfect solution solved. And that's it for the feature question. That's what he said.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Some things neatly in a bow, isn't it?
He's good at that David.
Yeah. Hey, he's got this real ability to just find a way to thread all these dissonant things together and make you think that it all had a meaning. And he's done it once again, ladies and gentlemen. It's impressive.
He didn't even, and he's gotten so good at it that he outsourced it this time, which is impressive.
James, it's all about passive income, okay?
Well, it's all about confidence, baby, because we did touch on that earlier, but maybe
Yeah.
next episode you can introduce a cool new saying. I just don't want to confuse people. I don't want to muddy the
Oh,
waters.
you want to keep it simple, yeah.
Yeah. Because
No,
what
that's
was
cool.
your one? It's all about
Mine?
Yeah.
James, it came out of my mouth and it left my brain. All
Right.
right.
You said
I
it's all
don't
about
remember.
side hustles or something like that.
No, I said it's all about passive income.
It's all about passive income. Yeah. So
That's what they tell you.
let's walk that back. And this episode, it's all about what?
Asking me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Me?
Yes.
Ooh.
This episode, it's all about
fuck, what did you say?
confidence, baby. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
Yeah. That was really kind of lodged up there somewhere. That took me a minute to retrieve.
And now you're all starting to see why he forgot that he said the thing about the dog. And that's it. Thank you. And
that's not what happened.
Perfect.
No, the dogs. We should probably. I think this is the episode because if we keep going any further, James is gonna lie about me again.
You don't want to quickly do the painted walls one?
Nah, let's sneak it in, but as long as you don't reference the dog stuff again.
Can't make any promises. And that's all I can say about that.
I cannot win in this fucking business lately. It's ridiculous. James, this comes from Lost and Confused on reddit.com, the asshole of the internet. Okay, James.
Hold on really quick. Run that by me again. Just say that last bit again. What's Reddit?
The asshole of the internet.
Thank you. Okay.
That's fun. We have a soundboard now.
We do. Why?
That's cool.
Is that weird? Is that suspicious in some way? No. It isn't.
No, it's not. It's perfectly normal. And how dare you? And how dare you, frankly. James, me and my husband are living with my dad for no rent while we were both in school. We moved into an old bedroom with pink walls, and my husband hates the color, so he wants me to ask my dad for money to buy paint. What? My husband hates the color, so he wants me to ask my dad for money to buy paint. I told him no, if we want to paint the room, we need to buy the paint. He says I'm being annoying for not asking because he says he would ask if it was his parents, but I just don't feel comfortable asking for money, but I'm getting tired of fighting with him. So, just to recap.
Sorry, did you forget what that question was? Because you prepared all of the questions in this episode, but you read that in a way like that was brand new to you, which, by the way, that happens to me a lot.
Yeah. Usually because I gather the questions. Is that what you mean? Or because you forget the words written down?
No, I'm just saying, like, you read it in a way as if that was the first time you'd ever read it, which is either one, you're a very talented actor, or two, you've genuinely forgotten what the question was, which is something that I do all the time. I will read back a question like it's brand new to me.
Some of these are like 6 months old in the doc, and I've been like, oh, I'll do that now. The thing I forgot was what I hadn't clocked the first time is that he's asking her to ask her dad for money. I didn't clock. I just assumed that they didn't want to pay for it. But he's like, no, we're living in your parents' house rent free.
Mm-hmm.
You should ask them for money to paint the room that we're staying in for free.
Because I don't like the color of the walls.
Even though, again, staying here rent free because we're both in school.
Yeah. It's a weird one.
Yeah, it's a weird one because it's sort of reality's over here.
Right.
And then you're somewhere over there with sort of your husband's request is sort of beyond the veil of the green screen. And reality's kind of over here.
Yeah. Because you sort of place them apart. I saw it more as his head was so far up his own ass that he's wearing himself as a hat because
there is that, yeah. I don't want to. We would never suggest divorce, but have you taken it off the table?
Right.
Because what the fuck is this guy's deal? It's either like an insane amount of privilege to be like, yeah, I'm staying here for free, but these digs need a refresh, and that's not
Yeah.
coming out of my wallet. Or the alternative is this like a power play type, like trying to prove that, because you know how men are, is he trying to prove that like he has more authority or control than her dad or something? Like, is it like a power play thing? You know?
That would be very strange, and this would be an even weirder way to go about exercising that.
Mm.
So I don't think that that's necessarily the case. I think I would say, obviously, if you want to paint the walls and you're staying somewhere for rent free, maybe you pay for the paint, right? Maybe you even ask first if we can paint,
Hey,
and
can
then
we,
you buy the paint, right?
can we
Obviously.
also, even if you're renting somewhere, they're not going to let you paint. Oh, this is an Australian
Also-
release. I know in America you can paint whatever the fuck you want, but here you can't even do that if you're paying.
I will say that looking at the floor is free. So if you don't like how the walls look, I think you could just look at the floor every time you're in the room, and that's a free solution, which goes
Also-
along with his free rent situation.
You've got options. Also, you can, and I don't want to sound crazy, close your eyes.
It's a
Because
good
if you're
one.
in the bedroom, it's probably nighttime.
Right. Well, it could be that could be the place that they hang out in all the time. because
That's
they're
true.
living
That's
at
true.
home.
I guess if you're in someone else's space, you don't have your own living area. I get that. But also it's pink walls, bro. That's lit as hell. Pink walls, sign me up. Like, what's your issue here? Get that pop of color. My mental health would be so much better if I was walking around in a cotton candy apartment. Now I can't do that because I would eventually have to sell this place. But like, you know, I would feel uplifted at all times.
Well, you can still paint the walls. You can still paint the walls, David.
Oh shit, I can't.
Yeah, you don't have to. Don't be out here living in your own house like you're renting it from some future buyer. You know what I mean? It's yours. You've got to customize it to Casa de David.
Right. Now, do you feel that the pink, the fairy floss, the candy cane color walls might clash with the mid-century design of the interior? I could get you furniture.
Yeah,
I could get you furniture.
one of them. Yeah, one of them's gonna have to shift probably.
Yeah,
but
I don't know what you want.
I think
I could just do my office in fairy floss pink.
that's a way of doing it.
It's where I spend most of my time anyway.
I think what this guy could do is, probably head down to Bunnings, where you can pick up a sample paint tin for free, and pick the paint tin in the color that you want the walls to be.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're gonna take it home, and you're gonna open it. Obviously, pop that lid off, and full speed.
You don't want to use a screwdriver.
Full speed pitch that open can of paint at any wall. Take your pick. Fucking lace that wall in it. Yeah.
Wait, you letting the can go, or are you flicking
all of
the
it?
Paint?
Got it.
The whole thing. You just
pitch the can full speed at a wall.
Sorry, what's the end game here?
Now, this obviously hinges upon your acting ability to sell the following steps.
This is already very okay. So we have a load. So okay, just to
I
recap
run to
so
dad.
far.
Okay, yeah, sure. Recap.
Wait, hang on. Is it the husband throwing it?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, because he's the one that wants to paint the walls.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's running, or it's me. I'm the girlfriend. Who's running to the dad?
me, the guy.
The guy. Okay, the husband. Yeah, go on.
I run to dad and I go, Mr. Berkowitz. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I was working on an art project for uni and I tripped with an open can of paint.
What?
And it's gone all over the walls.
Aren't you studying for computer engineering?
Oh my
what
God.
Kind of art project were you doing?
I'm so clumsy. I'm so sorry, Mr. Berkowitz.
Can you write Python mostly? Like, I don't understand why you had paint.
Yeah, it's an intro art class that I have to take to make up to give me enough
your engineering
points
degree.
to be able to
your
get
computer
into
science engineering degree.
It's so weird how it works nowadays.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, that is how it is. What happened though? The paint with the what?
Tripped doing an art project.
You tripped.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now while
what was the art project that you were doing?
what was the art project that I was doing?
What were you working on? Yeah, what were you doing?
Well,
in
I
the
don't want to.
bedroom?
I don't really like to sort of show my work in progress. What I can say is that I'll absolutely show it to you when it's done and ready. But I really just I don't like because I'm going to show it to you now. It's not really going to make a whole lot of sense, and I think that once it's fully come together and I get to
Right.
sort of explain the concept behind it, that's when you're really going to see it and sort
Right,
of
but could you
see
sort
the
of
vision. No,
could
and
you
I'm not
like
going to, and don't
describe
press me on
what
it.
could you describe what it is?
The art project.
Yeah, like what was the assignment that you were doing?
See, if I feel like even just giving away some of those key points are really it's going to taint how you see the end piece.
But it's for the assignment. So like knowing the assignment surely is context for looking at the art.
I'm just using the assignment as sort of an excuse to be able to make the piece of art. I'm gonna try and showcase it somewhere. So
right. I did that in the
um
70s. I get it. So
yeah,
what
well,
happened?
it's tripped obviously, and
Fuck. I've
he's
always said you're a clumsy fucking idiot.
I'm
That isn't
That's
good enough for
me.
my baby girl.
that's
And
me.
I've always said that you're you're gonna grow up to be a fucking socialist, and you're not
Right.
good enough for my fucking girl. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like you know what? Frankly, I'm not surprised you tripped. You fucking klutz.
Yeah, that's me. Clumsy Gus. So anyway, Dad's inspecting the damage, and that's where you're really gonna be honest. Didn't expect that he would really come at me about my art project. But you can obviously see that I ducked those pretty well.
He's hang on. You did pretty. He's doing
Yeah.
these ones right. He's coming to the bedroom and he's going.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, mate. That's
double hands on the hips. Yep.
You've done a bloody. You've done a proper right good job here, mate, haven't you?
Oh,
geez.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Really?
I can't believe I'm so clumsy. I can't believe how clumsy I was with the hottest color of the summer that all the home decor magazines are calling the must-have color of your home in 2023. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm so
That's
annoyed
right,
at myself, because I
We
spent
can wash it off. It's not wet yet.
No, I'm so annoyed at myself
because
because I spent the last of my money, the last cent to my name to buy that paint.
I
That
thought
again is the hottest color of the
yeah.
summer that all the home decor magazines are calling the must-have color on all of your walls in 2023.
must
damn
have,
it.
mate. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah,
Well, mate,
and that's not me. That's
yeah. I
you
thought
know,
the
the
agreement
outlets
was
and
if
stuff.
you moved in, you would stop selling that stuff and stop making money, and we'd subsidize so that you guys can live clean. And it sounds like you still making money, mate. Do you want to just pop a squat on the bed there, mate, and we can just bloody talk about it? Because I thought the whole
No, I don't know.
agreement was that you would you and my baby girl would stop selling the crack cocaine.
Oh right, I'm sorry, you fucking brain dead fucking old cunt. What do you think's happening right now? What do you think's happening? Hey, Grandpa.
We're just
Wake it up, Grandpa. What do you think's happening right now, dude?
Mate, we're just having a chat about your situation with my daughter and how before the whole agreement that me and my wife made in taking you in was that you would clean up your act and you would finish a degree and you would stop selling the drugs.
The drugs are gone. We don't sell the drugs anymore. Okay.
Well, where did the money come from? For the paint?
It was the last bit of money that I had. Okay. Dad, are you fully salient? Are you here? Are you on drugs? Did you not hear what I just said? It's the hottest color of 20.
What
you
is?
fucking
What?
I'm painting the walls, you old piece of shit. You fucking dumb cunt. Goddamn. Do you know how elaborate my fucking setup was here to try and get these fucking shitty pink walls painted? You stupid piece of shit. I'm painting the walls. Get the fuck out of my room. And now you've had to take it to a pretty dark place.
And scene. But it did work.
Yeah.
It did work. So
At the end of the day,
say what you will, effective.
At the end of the day, we added value to his home because it's the hottest color of 2023, right? And I changed the color of the walls that I didn't want.
James, sometimes when you solve a problem, you find an opportunity.
Sometimes when you
What do you think about that?
when you close a door, you open a window or another door.
Or a different shaped, or you try and open a window, but then it's got that thing where it can only open like so much.
It's got one of those like little chains on it.
Yeah, or it's one of the ones where you crank the thing and then it's like, and it opens like that much, and you're like, what was the point of that? Why did you even have a window?
Why
It's
did you paint it closed?
Yeah, Mom, why did you paint my window closed and put bars on it? I don't understand, Mom.
Yeah. What did you mean? It's to
Yeah.
trap me in.
It's to keep me. It's not to trap me in. It's to stop me from getting. It's to keep everyone else safe. What do you mean by that, Mom? It's to protect everyone else?
I thought it was to keep people out. It's to keep me in?
To keep me in, Mom? Think I'm that much of a risk, Mom?
Mom, why is there a latch on the outside of my door?
Mom, why is there a motion sensor on my door?
Sorry. What? Are they the evil twin? Are they the evil twin?
It's fucking Bart's evil twin of the fucking attic. Oh, it's very good.
Solved it.
You know what?
You know what? You gotta be able to think on your feet, and sometimes when your very elaborate story doesn't go to plan, it pays to just be straight up open and honest.
Honest, direct, brutal, kind of rude.
Yeah.
Kind of rude if we're being honest with ourselves.
Doug, if the goal is to get the walls painted, you never said I wanted to get my walls painted and strengthen the relationship with my girlfriend's dad. You just said, I hate the walls. They suck. I want them a different color.
True.
And at the end of the day, that's what happened.
And there's enough bandwidth left that you can recover that relationship, I feel.
Maybe. We did scream old dumb cunt at him like a couple of times.
Yeah.
I don't know how salvageable that is.
He seemed a bit bewildered though, so maybe he won't remember. Like he seemed kind of befuddled, like I don't know if he's gonna recall that.
Wow. So you're like doubling down on
James,
on fucking piling onto this dude.
Maybe we could help him forget.
Okay. We're gonna get out of here before David suggests another murder.
James, I just want to say, not to you, James, but to everybody else, thank you so much for watching and listening.
You're welcome,
to this week's
David.
No, not to you, to everybody else.
And you did pretty good as well, you know?
Thank you so much for watching and listening to this week's episode of The Advisory. We absolutely appreciate your support, and we appreciate that you guys are out there and you're loving the show that we do. You can find us on the internet at youtube.com/@BlackSwan. What?
You can find us on the internet, and if you're really good at tracking us down, you might be able to find us in person as well.
If you're a real sleuth, you'll figure it out. youtube.com/@BlackSwanSociety to find the VODs as well as some fun YouTube shorts. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at BLK Swan Society. That's TikTok and Instagram at BLK Swan Society. Or if you want to catch us live when we do these shows live, you can follow us at twitch.tv/BlackSwanSociety. And if you're watching live, if you're hearing this right now on your podcast catcher, you could have gotten an extra 30 minutes to an hour of content if you're at twitch.tv/BlackSwanSociety when we're streaming, because we're about to do our first ever post show where you can catch us just chatting about art, goofing it up. It's a bit less serious, a bit more chill. You can find that at twitch.tv/BlackSwanSociety. We stream every week except this one at 6 p.m. AEST, or you can go to our Twitch channel and it will show you when the streams are scheduled in the calendar, and you can actually sync that with your Google Calendar through their integration, which is very exciting. Or if you were listening and you thought, one of my biggest desires in life, oh my God, I'd love to do it. I'd love to send these boys an email. I need some help. I need some advice. You can email us blackswansociety.mail@gmail.com. That is blackswansociety.mail@gmail.com. All of those links are in the show notes or the description of this video or podcast that you're listening to. And wherever you're listening to it, please do consider giving us a rating or a review or a comment on your podcast catcher or video platform of choice. It genuinely helps. It helps the old Dr. Algorithm do his thing. It helps more people find us. And it lets us know that you're enjoying the show. Please do consider giving us a rating or a review, a 5-star review. And if you leave us a fun 5-star review on Apple iTunes podcast or something similar, I may read it out on the show. We appreciate the heck out of you guys watching and listening to what we do. But to be completely honest with you, the best way to help the show is to send it to one person you think might enjoy it. Send it to that friend who has that weird same sense of humor, or the boring friend like me who's like, I want to hear someone sometimes yell about art. You got lots of options of who you could send it to. We appreciate the heck out of it. If you're listening to this on your podcast catcher of choice or your video platform, we will see you next week, 6 p.m. AEST. Or if you're on twitch.tv, we'll see you in about 5 minutes for our post show. Thank you so much. I'm not into dog play, and we'll see you guys next time.
I can't. We're going to go out on a lie? All right.
Well, it's not.
No, I just
It's not a lie.
Okay, go through it again, and we'll see if the lie detector pops off. Just...
Okay. We appreciate your support as always, but to be completely honest, the best way you can support us is to send this to one person you think might enjoy it. That one weird, boring friend like me, or a funny friend. You got a spectrum of options. We'll see you next week, same time, 6 p.m. AEST. I'm not into puppy play. Catch you then. Wow. What happened there?
I'm sorry. That's the error sound. This is the error sound. You ready?
Yeah. Ooh.
Error for what? Error for fucking what, dude?
Yeah.
There we go. That's
almost spat water across my entire setup.
Okay, we do need to
we're out of here.
Yeah.
We're out of here. If you're listening on the technologies, if you're watching live, we'll be back for a post show. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next week. Goodbye.
Oh, goodbye. Sorry.